When talking in this video about driving decision making, closing sales techniques 2, we will develop the main techniques for a successful sales close. I'm José Manuel García-Lomas Allen-Perkins, President and first consultant of the firm García-Lomas Allen-Perkins, the ADO Corporation. The question now is, when do we begin to close the sale? And the answer is, since we plan to contact the client, our goal is to close. And it begins with our strategy. We've already discussed that there are three types of close. A. Partial close, which are acceptance and steps to be covered with the client in the development of sales process. B. Test close, which serve to know the client temperature as far as the purchase is concerned, and also serves to remove any hidden objections. A test closing is taking the deal for granted, knowing that it is probably not done. But with it, we see the client's reaction and act accordingly. And C. The final closing, our main objective. Now let's talk about some interesting closing techniques. 1. Closing by direct question. One of the most effective closings asks a client a direct closing question and shut up. The first one to talk loses. Example: so do you think we should do it like this? And pause. 2. Close by alternative. By offering the customer two options or possibilities, we make him forget a third one, the don't buy option. It consists of giving two, for me, positive alternatives. Start with the major one, the minor, my main objective. Closing by alternative can refer to quantity, to delivery conditions, to size, etc. 3. Conditional acceptance close. We have already talked about it in a previous video. If the customer expresses an objection, try to isolate it using conditional acceptance. It is a sine qua non condition that as soon as we see the objection, we know that we can overcome it. Then apply the conditional acceptance as follows. Example: if it weren't for that problem, Mr. Client, would you be willing to? Or, if this thing you are telling me could be solved to your full satisfaction, then you would accept. If the client says yes, you will only have to overcome the objection and lead the client to the final close. 4. Summary close. The strategy of this technique consists in getting the client to see the summary trailer of the interview, marching on the key aspects of it. There are 3 steps to this. First, summarize the needs. Second, summarize the benefits. And third, get the commitment. 5. Time planning close. Here the strategy will consist of introducing the time factor as a determinant of when the client will want to have our product or service. To do this, it is necessary to show the client when the decision should be taken by him, in order to be able to start using our product or service on the day that the client considers would be the most suitable. Showing him that there are dates, time that no longer depend on us as sellers, and that the time runs out if he wants to have the product service in the convenient date. We will continue to develop more closing techniques but in these videos we do not intend to exhaust the topics, which will continue to have a long journey. And something important, even if we had 100 sales closing techniques, they would be of no use to close a customer who does not want to buy, because there is no closing technique that makes a customer buy who does not want to buy. If our closing fails, it was not the closing's fault. But remember, closing the sale is the logical consequence of a good sales interview process. So let's look for the failure in the interview process and not the closing. If the sales process is really good, there will be almost no closing to do, since the client will be the first interested in buying, for he will see in his mind the scale, how convenient it is for buying. In the next videos we will be alternating topics of interest for us professionals, and always in relation to the human factor and its transcendence in the business world. If you are interested in our videos, I suggest you give a like and subscribe to our channel for the videos that are to come.